Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is game number 2 of the finals. Reborn versus Guile Esports. Reborn put on a goddamn clinic. Sorry, I'm all hyped up. I'm excited about game number 2. Reborn dominated game 1.5 against Guile Esports. Put on just an absolute show. We're going to be jumping into game number 2. We're right into the drafts. Gideon, banned. Guile Esports, banned him. Done. Get him out.
But does that make sense?
I mean, it doesn't, because Gideon, we saw clearly, did not do much.
Well,
The
the thing
Grux
is,
Gideon combo that's broken and everybody's so afraid of, we saw in competitive play, really didn't play out well for Guile Esports because of the aggression of Reborn.
Reborn actually have a huge advantage here because Guile Esports showed that they can't really play with the Gideon in the last game. They got completely countered by Reborn. So that means that Guile are basically forced to ban it out here, and they're going to be the ones to get the Rampage with their first pick. I think it's a huge advantage going over to Reborn that Guile are forced to ban out the Gideon with their first ban.
You say that, but then Reborn picks up both Shinbi and Wraith. So yes, it's I mean, not for Reborn. That's a good thing for Reborn. That's not a great thing for Guile Esports. You allowing allowing Reflect to pick up Shinbi, and you either put Involve or NATO Sick on Wraith. Rough.
I think Reborn have a pretty good handle on this series now after that game number 1 win, and they've already gotten a pretty big advantage in the draft as well. Guile will be able to pick up the Aurora for Regal, so maybe that's not as tanky as the Sevrog, but definitely a very high impact hero that they can work with here. And they're going to be getting the Bellica again, either for Azzy or for Lucer. I think they're changing a little bit with this game number 2 draft. They don't have the Wraith, which they've used a lot in the dual mid situation. So I don't know if they're going to be putting the pressure onto Reborn like I kind of said they needed to in game number 2. But I do like this change of pace for them.
So they've got their Bellica and Aurora. Rampage taken away from J. Leo Grande, which means I expect to see Leo on Grux. There's an Narbash picked up. Got Narbash.
I mean, Grux is OP, right? He shouldn't be making it into the what?
The fact
fourth?
Right, the fact that he's gone this far in the draft without being picked up. What's wrong with these teams? Deathcrawler Grux is broken.
Do they not know that there are bugs in the game?
Let's see. There's Grux picked up, which I like. And hopefully we see Involve back on Faye. So strong jungler, strong support, strong carry, nasty offlaner. Mid laner, I'm going to say, is Involve on Gadget, who he's really, really strong at. We saw him dominate with Faye. Maybe he will be back on Faye the Bay. Guile Esports, they need to pick up their Marauder. They need to pick up their jungler. Or not jungler, I'm sorry. They have their jungler. They need to pick up their Marauder, and they need to pick up their mid laner. FaZe picked up... Oh, I thought Bellica was going to go on support there. FaZe picked up as their support. I like this pick. Are we going to see a Doc pick, or are we going to see a Drongo pick?
FaZe is an excellent counter to the Wraith. If you can just keep that tether going, the telekinetic link, while the back it up goes on, it's going to be a Drongo that you're asking for. FaZe can be extremely good in these kinds of CC chaining situations. So Reborn are going to have to be that much better on their combos if they want to get these heroes out before the FaZe can pull them. And that puts a little bit more pressure on them than they had in the last game. This could actually work out quite well for Guile.
This could be really good for Guile here. Next time we talk about Grux being broken, I'll put more sarcasm in my voice because apparently chat doesn't understand how sarcasm works. Nemesis didn't call anybody out by name. Involve is going to be picking up the Faye, which he played really well last time. I'm excited to see him back on that mid lane.
I was definitely joking about that pick during the first draft.
I like this pick. I think Faye is underrated as all get out. Reborn, in my opinion, clearly won this draft.
I guess we'll just have to leave it to the players to figure it out because we are ready for game number 2. Let's start up in 3, 2, 1, go. Notch, this is the grand final.
The grand finale. The finish. It could be. Watch Guile Esports dominate Reborn. Here we go to game number 3.
I mean,
This
Idix
is
already got the arms up. He's ready to go.
He's ready to do this. Game number 2 of the day, Reborn versus Guile Esports. Introduce these players.
All right, if you say so. It's going to be Involve on the Fae, playing it up in the mid lane. Native Sick playing the Wraith. We've got Master Splinter hoping to combo up with the Wraith on the Narbash. We've got Jay Leo out of the jungle as the Broken Grux. And then finally Reflect handling a Shimby in the off lane.
Over on this side of Guile Esports, we've got Lucaire on FaZe, Edoc on Rampage, Azzy on Bellica, Ghost playing Drongo, and Regal is going to be playing Aurora. I like this change that that Guile Esports has made, putting Lucaire and Ghost back in that mid lane. This has worked out for them before, and I hope it works out for them again this time. They can be a little bit more aggressive on Faye here. Rad rounds already coming out. Involve only picking up the one shot on him. There's that energy lance. Involve is about 50% health, but he's got that long range poke. Ghost taking minion damage as well. So I expect them to be hyper aggressive on this mid lane, trying to deal with Faye and bullying Involve in and out of this laning.
Yeah, they absolutely have to. Not only that, but they can use the phase to give them a little bit more of an aggressive stance inside the jungle, shutting down Jay Leo in the early game if they get some early rotations from the Doc. I mean, this is a complete turnaround for Guile Esports. You already see Ghost going into the jungle. The phase from the back end should be able to make sure that Ghost stays out of trouble. But he's already so free just to go for some rotations into the Reborn jungle.
I gotta say, I'm glad they took Rampage away from Leo Grande. Doc, we saw him have great success with Rampage in the last game, or with Rampage in his previous series of games, and Leo Grande has just been dominating with that hero. Ooh. So they finally put Doc back on. In my opinion, one of the best junglers in the game. Richter is definitely up there as a solid jungler. We haven't seen much Richter jungle this weekend. Rampage has been the focus, but I think that just shows you how strong this kid is right now. And he's a force to be reckoned with. Regal going to get rewind here. The boulder's going to be there, but unfortunately, oh, I was just kidding. He gets away. He ice skates his way to safety. Regal is going to survive. That combo, man, with that rewind, NATO Sick Master Splinter, back it up into a thunk. That's a nasty combo and can really prove dangerous for Regal as this game progresses.
In the other lanes, Reborn are actually taking some pretty good advantages, like you said, the aggression onto Regal's Aurora, as well as Reflect Shimby, putting some work early onto the Belka as well. We're seeing Reborn start to take a couple advantages in this laning stage, and it is definitely looking pretty good for them here. Involve starting to put some damage onto Ghost. Master Splinter ready with the thunk if needed, but here comes the energy lance. Involve will just juke around the corner to make sure that he doesn't get the root procced onto himself. Could have been bad news bears if Idix was able to hit the rock as well.
As he back to his lane over here, he's got a minion wave to deal with. I think he's most likely going to try and freeze this up at this point now that it's pushed into him. Picking up those last hits underneath the tower here because, well, it glows red and says, hey, shoot me. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Reflect, continue the aggression. What level is Reflect right now?
Level 4.
Level 4. He does have that Possessed Spranken online, so he's going to be able to just bully this lane all he wants.
Yeah, it's pretty unsurprising. Reflect's been putting in a pretty good performance. Regal, the back it up is forced to be used on him pretty much before he's used any of his escape and evasive maneuvers, so he's not really going to worry too much about that. What Negative Sick really should be looking for with that ability is just seeing when Regal gets himself into a bad situation and then has already used both of his escape abilities, because that's where back it up is really going to be more of a problem.
Oh, also in the engage when he gets his ultimate online. When he goes to skate in and pop that that ultimate, back him up before he gets that off.
Right.
That way you're not in danger there. But yes, multiple ways for him to use that, making sure they keep themselves safe in multiple situations. Mid lane, we're not seeing much aggression in the mid lane here. Involved just happy keeping this minion wave underneath his tower as he picks up those last hits. We're seeing a lot of death growth builds. The one thing we've noticed is, of course, all of these supports, they're going with a knowledge, not all of these supports, but we've seen them go with the death knowledge build, especially Lucaire, prioritizing that lamp lighter, the ward, 300 gold ward, making sure he has vision. We don't need to see much ward coverage on the side of Reborn because NATO Sick has a built-in ward.
Free wards. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
It's one of the reasons we've seen this hero rotate to the carry position, on top of scaling and attack speed changes and whatnot. But when you look at Wraith in that carry position, he has the ability to peel for himself. He provides vision in that lane to keep him safe, and he has an ultimate that can allow him to escape. Just all around solid kit for that hero. Maybe a tad bit on the strong side, bloated side, if you will, because he just provides so much that he can do on his own.
That's like a triple threat right there. We'll see if NATO.
Did I say knowledge death? I meant knowledge. I meant order death. I apologize.
I was just letting you go with it. I mean, you sounded
Well,
like you knew what you're talking about.
I was
Notch.
pretty
mean,
confident in that when
yeah.
I said it. It was just a misspeakage.
I knew what you meant. I just kind of hear what I want to hear, and then I just keep going. I think that's what Twitch chat should do. Hear what they want to hear. Oh wait, they do that already.
You knew I was talking about order, about that one card.
Yeah, right. As
There's
you will
an
get
engagement.
caught out in the jungle, there's assessing assault, but Involve coming around from the backside. There's also the Bramble Patch there to make sure that he moves a little bit slower. And he just gets caught at the wrong place at the wrong time there. And Reflect will plant the good old USA stars and stripes on his body.
USA. USA.
He got beat by South Korea in Overwatch.
They sure did. Canada almost beat South Korea, though. I don't know if you watch those games. They were fantastic.
Didn't get a chance. I was casting.
Gosh, let's talk about Paragon right now.
I'm sorry.
Good rotations coming out of both mid lane and Reflect, able to help secure that kill on Azzybear, who was going for... Was he going for the jungle buff? What was he doing down there? Jungle buff is just now spawned.
He was
taking
taking a bath.
Adventuring? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The new, enjoying the new scenery in the jungle here?
Yeah. Involve knows that he has to be really careful here on the mid lane. He has no idea what IDIC picked up. He knows that it could be a Shadow Flame buff, and you always have to play with that possibility since you don't really know what buff it's going to be. But IDIC just walks on into the jungle, sees Jay Leo sitting there. Really decide to rotate for him. He's going to start off with the rock, maybe a bit too soon, especially since, actually Jay Leo wants to fight this one. It could be a bad move because here comes the Rad Rounds, the Energy Lance as well. Jay Leo does not have the charge any longer on the Grux. And there's also going to be the Horror Frost making sure that Master Splinter stays out of it as well. That's going to be Regal taking a kill from the off lane. Nice little twofer for Guile Esports.
Yeah, great little pickup. That strength of that purple buff. Slowly, he just stood there and watched him kill. This means the Fang Tooth, the Tooth of Fangs, is available to be picked up here. They're already working on it. Do
Maybe
they have any
use a Hyperflux for it.
They've got 2 Zetches online. No, they don't.
He has to get
They've got
something
one
done.
Zetch.
Nadosic wants to try to steal it. Can he snipe this away? Regal's probably going to try to jump for it. They try to steal it. Did they get it? Can you look at the gold for me, Notch?
The gold didn't change on my end. It's showing 43 to 35.
No!
It didn't change. No!
We don't
Hold on,
know
I'll
who
fix-
took it. Okay.
I'll fix it. Hold
I'll
on.
fix
Hold
it.
on.
Okay.
It still didn't fix it. I don't know who got it.
Okay. Okay, this is unfortunate. Ghost will continue to go for Involve here with the Rad Rounds. We'll get some huge damage on it. Involve trying to get something in return with the minions starting to help out now as well. Involve not really looking too worse for wear. Luckily, Ghost at least still has the regen for another energy lens coming through, but Involve is completely okay with this one. Did you recover yet, Notch?
I'm trying to figure out who picked it up.
I want to
It's a
say
46
that it was
to
Reborn.
37. I think no, because Reborn's gold. Nobody's gold changed. There was no massive change in gold there, so I don't know.
Go where your heart tells you, Notch. Smash and grab onto Ghost. He's going to be picked up by Reborn in the mid lane as well. They're going to continue to dominate here, and they may be looking for their first tower of the game here in the mid lane up against Guile Esports in game number 2. I mean, they're already off to a good start, and they already have the 1-game lead in this best of 3. They could be looking at a pretty quick path to the finish.
Yeah, I'm gonna say based off of just how these guys play and the fact that there was 2 Zetches online. I think Reborn
They're
did pick
really
it up.
going right for this.
They have a 10,000 gold lead. What is this BM play that's happening right now?
What?
They're not. Okay, they're not. I thought for sure they were going for it. They are going to back off
Maybe if it had been
here.
there right when they got there, they would have gone for it. That would have been unreal. 10 minutes on the dot going for OP. That's something we've seen very few times in the past. I believe it was TO actually, Toronto Esports, that used to make that go right for OP play.
And they were successful with it just about every single time.
That's unreal. Reborn clearly in the driver's seat in this game, and Guile are just swerving out of control right now, trying to regain control of the vehicle that is this game. And we thought they might have had some kind of answer for it with their duo mid, a little bit more aggression, but we're just not really seeing it here.
No, there's not enough rotation. They didn't pressure the jungle enough. They really haven't been able to deal with Involve effectively. And that's been the big issue here. Is the last couple of games we saw this effective rotation and then being able to set up and really utilize this duo mid. This game they just haven't found that success. I'm gonna say it's because of the rotations coming out of Reborn. Reborn has been able to counter this. They've put themselves in a position to where they're not in danger.
I think
Just
there's also
smart
one
heads-up play out
huge
of these
factor
guys.
here, and that's the fact that Involve is the GOAT. He is.
Is Involve the GOAT?
I
Involve is
think
the man.
Involve is the GOAT. Like we looked at this the Fae, and we were like, you know, it's probably not going to be that good of a hero. Back it up onto Regal. Here we'll get stunned up immediately. Gets the Glacial Charge out. So we looked at the Fae, and we were like, we don't think this is going to be a great hero. And then Involve comes in and is like, look guys, I got this. I'm actually good at this game. Let me show you guys how it's done. And he comes on and has a standout performance on the Fae, and doesn't even matter that he has two heroes against him in the mid lane. He's completely okay with that, and will go toe-to-toe with them.
What just happened to Rampage?
Don't worry
He
about
was
that.
there, and then he wasn't. Lucer's in a lot of trouble here. Involve using the fly trap. All kill doesn't even need to be utilized. They're rotating down, trying to see if they can pick up this Raptor. Does look like Fangtooth has already been picked up for the side of Reborn. Regal still getting aggressive onto Involve here. Involve is going to zone out Ghost.
And he's completely okay. Like, he's going in as the Fae with no fear at all. And he's completely dominating the Guile side still. There's just no one here to answer Involve at all. He showed his skill over at PEX, and now he's really coming into his own on a hero that very few mid laners are willing to play.
And that just shows you the versatility of Involve. Involve, we saw him sub in for PEX and just have this great performance as that midline player. And now he's been full, you know, he's
I think he was
Reborn's
off lane in
full-time mid.
PEX. Because he was
He
subbing
played
for
mid
Oxygen
twice.
back
He
then.
played Gideon. He
Oh,
played
did he?
Gideon in mid. Yeah, he played Gideon mid.
Oh, well, that was also, like, Oxygen still kind of rotated their roles around back then as well. Who knows what they do now?
But he's now on Reborn, and just the way he plays the mid lane. We saw him as a carry for a long time, and then he switched over to mid lane, and just the way he plays this position, he's one of the best mid laners in Paragon right now.
He's also got one of your favorite skins on.
Dude, Faye is Bay, dude. Look at her. She's picking flowers right now. We don't even have to watch the other match.
Right.
Does he
I will
love me?
anyway.
He loves me not. He loves me, and then she backs and goes and gets gold, and then comes out and murders people's faces with the power of nature.
Notch is
Got excited.
pretty much, yeah, he's getting way too excited right now, guys. Make sure you show your support for all of these players here in the PCL. Coming up to the grand final here, guys. I mean, these players are showing everything they got. Involve a little bit more than others at this point. But still, Idek, he wants to make things happen for his team. Picks up the rock. Jay Wea will get hit by it. Tries to make his way away from here. Stopping assault on top. There's a void bomb too. Can Jay Wea get out? Uses a Warrior's Challenge, looking to get those death crawlers. Don't know if he has the card up just yet, but they do put a huge amount of damage on it. All kill is not actually going to go on to Azzy, but here comes Involve. He's getting the kill like his team needs, forcing Idek to go into the Rampage ult. And he's at least going to get one return kill for that full rotation of Guile Esports.
Reflect, Leo Grande down, one on the dead on the side of Guile Esports with Azzy Bear. This is going to open up this tier 1 tower for them. They'll be able to take this pretty easily. We've got Regal in a 1v1 situation against Nadosic over here. Nadosic is just, he's a little bit overextended, doing his best to try and poke. Look at that attack speed, just popping off right now. But this opens up Fangtooth. Fangtooth is about to respawn. You'll be able to hear it. There he is, yelling at everybody.
That's a beautiful sound.
Roar!
That was a pretty close approximation.
Thank you. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a play on this with everybody being back up. We're only 15 minutes into the game, which you can see when I hit the tab screen.
Oh.
There it is. 15 minutes, 27 seconds.
Well,
Gold
they can see it
advantage
the
on
whole
the side
time.
of Reborn.
I put the time on the screen for them.
Look at how smart you are.
I'm nice, actually.
77,000 gold to 62,000 gold. Reborn does have that
They
gold
found the
advantage
dock.
now. They also have the Fangtooth advantage. Doc is in a lot of trouble here. Reround, smashed and grabbed, dead.
You want to fix some bugs, Notch?
No speed, no momentum, and almost no violence right there.
Do you want to fix some bugs?
Let's fix the bugs.
All right, guys, you're going to see what happens when we fix some bugs here in the PCO for the first time today. We're going to stop the game because we have that power. I'm going to be at 17:15 on the timeline timer thing.
17:15. Boost Skadoosh.
Oh.
Which is 16:16 in game.
Maybe.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's about that. You want to start it in
Okay,
3,
cool.
2, 1, go. Hey, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Showing you an awesome break in the time here. I would like to attribute that pause to Kit Kats, rather. Give me a break. In any case, we're going for the Fangtooth. Ghost and Lucer trying to get it down. Actually, Reborn are going to be the ones to let this go, as Guile actually managed to find something on the map. That's got
Found their found their first Fangtooth of the game, which will give each player 1,000 gold, and it will also give them 4 power per person.
Look at the scoreboard now because we can actually see it. Domain of Stillness on Master Splinter. Love that card. Taking a look at the net worth, it's about 10,000 in favor of Reborn at this point.
Do they have double Domain of Stillness? Reflect has a... That can't be right. No, it's a bug. I was like, what the heck?
Sometimes they just appear at the same time.
Yeah. Reflect rocking that Plague Lord to deal with the regen. The Doc, the health regen, and of course to deal with Phase's regen as well. They have a way to counter that hero. They do still have the ×2 Fangtooth advantage and the gold lead. So it's all going to be a matter of who's able to pick up a kill here and go for that Orb Prime. I think that's going to be the next major objective we see.
Found the Doc inside the jungle. He's going to get big to try to get away, but he doesn't have a jump anymore. But look at that. The Phase is going to be able to pull him back to safety and get some more regen going. And now Drongo is going to try to force him out of his own jungle. He might go a little bit further. Do they really want to? As he goes forward, misses the Seismic Assault as well as the Void Ball. But here comes Regal with the Cryocism. Here come Guile Esports back in a big way. Regal wants to pick up 2, but he just missed that Hoarfrost, and, well, Idek is going to put in the rock for good measure. And we're still doing a whole lot of work there as we get Reflect bugged out once again. So it looks like that short pause brought to you by Kit Kat. A break in the action. It's not really going to be all that useful anyway.
Reflect, dead as Shimmy. Good rotation coming in. There's a rewind onto Lucer. Lucer gets all the CC, is going to fall, but Ghost coming in, picking up a reprisal kill onto Master Splinter and continuing to chase down. J. Leo Grande falls down as well. Good gameplay coming out of Guile Esports right now. Yes, the rewind was there, but they were able to capitalize, pick up 2 kills. Do they go for a tier 2 here? They're just happy with this, back up, sell their gold, pick up these river buffs that are spawning, and get ready for another push.
They're going to pick up something, at least going for the tier 1. They can take these down quite quickly with Drongo's rad rounds. I think they're pretty rad. And with that being down, they may as well just back up and try to just continue to take their own jungle and make sure that they take care of the wife and kids at home.
Black buff is up and going to be picked up for, looks like Regal is on that right now. Fangtooth is spawning. They're going to go ahead and place a ward on that Fangtooth. They've got Orb Prime warded and Fangtooth warded to make sure that both of those major jungle objectives are being... Master Splinter rotating in, also placing his own ward. It's going to get dewarded pretty quickly for the side of Guile Esports. And they're going to make a play on this Raptor. I don't know if this is the best decision right now. They do know Shimmy's across the map. They've got the Radarounds. They've got the Zetches online. but this could go really bad for them if Reborn decides to engage
Involve
here.
wants to get in. Did they
It's
actually
down.
steal it again? I have no idea. The crowd system goes out on the 2. Master Splinter uses the Domain of Stillness, but that might only seal the fate of Jay Leo. The Belku's been taken out, so Azzy will no longer be in this fight. That's a lot of burst potential that Reborn are going to be able to take advantage of here. Reflect, all right, he's going to fall. Uses the all kill before he dies, but still, it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Guile with the turnaround.
Wow.
They were going for Fangtooth, and they still managed to win the fight.
Yeah, they won the fight. They picked up the Fangtooth. Lucer ends up living through that all kill. Reflect Leo down. Fangtooth picked up for the side of Guile Esports. They are now within 4,000 goals of Reborn when they were down by almost 15,000.
This game getting closer by the second. Also see a couple, one Glycerin Dawn actually on the field from Involve. So I think the biggest thing in that last fight was the fact that we had Master Splinter using the Domain of Stillness, but it kind of isolated his team from the team fight and pretty much forced the frontliners of Reborn to take the brunt of the damage, which they really couldn't withstand at this point in the game.
No, not with card power coming online. These guys have pips and cards activated. Orb Prime is... Orb Prime just looks better and better as the next objective for these teams. They're even on Fangtooth right now, 2 and 2 for each, which means they both have that 10% out of combat move speed. The next person to pick up Fangtooth will get the 10% extra damage to non-heroes. So to your minions or primes and whatnot, they'll get that extra damage here. Does look like they are going to... They don't know there's a ward there, so they're
Involved, smacked by the Seismic Assault, but he's going to manage to get out of the boulder. Still dies anyway. Wow, Azzy with the killing instinct there. Might be able to secure themselves the OP. Idek wants to go for it as well.
That is a big kill for them.
Ooh.
They've got a ward there, so there's...
They know. They know everything.
They know it all.
Regal really has to show up pretty soon with the crowd. Jay Lee is going to be picked up. There's no Domain of Stillness, but he does manage to get a kill. Nice smashing grab on the 3. He's going to stack them up quite well for Reflect. As he will be falling, Ghost is able to get the return kill, though. And here comes Regal right on top of Master Splinter. He was the late arrival to the fight, but he's definitely ready to make a huge difference here. And he goes right in and gets the kill on the Master Splinter. Now trapping in Nadosic, but the rest of his team says, yo, we can get the OP right here, right now. Idek and Ghost already getting on top of it.
Yeah, they're already they've got Zetch's online. Ghost has got to be careful. He's low.
Nadosic the god.
They pick up the Orb Prime, so they are going to back off. If Nadosic got there, he would have been able to steal it, I think, or come damn close to stealing it.
Yeah, he tried to go for the vision first.
Fangtooth is about to spawn. Azzy will be up in 4. Reflect is still down for 10, so he'll be up by the time the team... They're already rotating the Fangtooth. They want this third Fangtooth.
Absolutely. They need to regain control of the lane zone. That's what Regal's doing over on the right side. You saw Nadosic try to go in for the OP there. He tried to get a little bit of vision on it first, but he just didn't realize that he didn't have that much time, especially with the Flame of Zekins on the field. Involve into the pit. Idek's there as well, though. Reborn, they could be just nailing their coffin shot with this one. Here comes the energy lands by Lucer, keeping them trapped on in there, but they're missing all of their initiation. The boulder just slams into the wall. Jay Leo has to get out, but the Seismic Assault is going to be there, and the Void Bomb will manage to pick him up. Involve trying to do as much damage as possible, but it might not even be enough. Ghost, nearly getting himself out, but he will fall. That's a pretty bad death for Guile to have right now, and it's going to... Well, I actually have.
I don't have it on my screen, but he's still alive.
He's still definitely alive. Still there.
And Guile will pick up this this Raptor.
These fights are so back and forth.
And it did just skip up. You heard it.
I can hear him die.
Growl.
Poor thing.
You hear him growl in pain as he's destroyed, and his essence is sucked up by the team here. That's 3 for Guile Esports. Guile Esports has Orb Prime. They've got 3 Fangtooths. They still have Orb Prime for like another, I don't know, I want to say 15 seconds-ish? 20 seconds, maybe half a minute here, but not a lot of time for them to really do anything with this.
Well, they're still going to try to get the push going in the left lane. They have to have Ghost show up a little bit quicker than that, and he might just have to just take care of the pushes coming in through the mid lane as well as right. So I don't think Guile can push this too hard, but they may try to pick up the jump pads for themselves. especially with the OP buff still on them. They're going to have to commit pretty hard with no Drongo there. So they are taking it down quite quickly. Jay with a nice smash and grab onto 2, but Idik's already into the ult. Regal needs to stay alive. He needs to get the Crow off onto 3. He gets it onto 4, but the tomato stillness from Master Splinter. He's going to play the drums the entire time, and he does manage to get it. The tower about to fall. God really just need to get it at this point, but they're almost giving up way too much over the Reborn. Lucera will fall. Idik really doesn't have a good way of getting out of here. The knock-up will keep him just a little bit longer, and the back it up from Realistic is going to secure the kill for Reborn. The tower's fallen, but most of Guile have as well.
4 down for tier 2 towers. I mean, is that a... That doesn't sound like the best exchange, in my opinion. Yes, they picked up jump pads, but you're down for 40 seconds. There is... The first hero up is going to be Azzy in 25, or Lucera in 10, but you still have people down for a minimum of 20 seconds. You also run the risk of losing your tier 2 towers here. And as we see Reborn pushing down this lane, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go try and take these tier 2 towers, and if they can pick up a couple staggered kills, they may be able to pick up an inhibitor.
I think it's just going to stop at a tier 2. I don't think that Lucera is going to put himself in too much danger, and it's not a huge deal if he goes down right now anyway. But Drongo will show up. They'll stop the aggression at just the tier 2 tower, so it's going to be an even trade of towers, but not an even one of heroes. Reborn clearly taking the advantage there. No Fangtooth for them to take right now, but they're at least, you know, making sure that Guile can't turn around this game too much.
Also, Guile Esports is now taking the gold advantage, 127 to 114. So Guile Esports now in the lead when it comes to gold. Map control is basically equal for both of these teams. Fangtooth is going to be spawning here in just about 20 seconds, and Orb Prime will be spawning in 174 seconds. See these guys up here soon. Fangtooth is going to be the objective. Fangtooth is just so strong as of this moment in time that they're already positioned around it. And Guile Esports wants this Fangtooth.
And they really do need it as well. They can't afford for Reborn to take another big fight, and Regal's already getting started on it. He has to make sure that he doesn't get blown up in this fight, and Reborn know all about this. As he wants to come in from the backside, needs to come in unawares. The big, strong heroes are facing down the Fangtooth, and they're going to be able to pick it up with the Flame of Zekin. So really not even a positioning advantage, but still Guile are able to pick up their 4th Fangtooth of the game.
They do pick up their 4th, which gives them that extra bonus damage. Every time they pick this up now, they're just going to continue to stack damage on top of that. This is going to make taking objectives easier. This is going to make pushing lanes easier. And this just gives them a big power swing in their favor. They know they have that advantage, and they're going to try and push down this mid lane here.
Yeah, maybe they can actually get it without taking a massive amount of kills. I wouldn't even say that the tier 2 is that big of a deal for them right now. They'll retreat into the jungle. The get back goes on to Idik. He does get the ult off, pulled underneath the tower. Even more beautiful zoning by Involve as well, but they haven't killed the Rampage. And, well, someone's invisible. Can't really see him. We are going to have to just hope that we can see who ends up dying. It is going to be the Shinbi going in with the all kill. That won't end up finding anybody. Jay Wheel gets a nice smash and grab on the 2. Master Splinter almost dead. And now he will end up dying as Idik again going to get pulled away by Lucera. This guy has been on point with those. Azzy Bear will be able to get away from Jay Wheel. Regal almost dead. Everybody's so low on Guile Esports, but nobody's died just yet. Involve trying to hang around the fight as much as possible. And he's just going to have to back up in the end.
Lucera just saved all of the damn lives with those pulls. 100% the reason that went in favor of Guile Esports is Lucera's gameplay, being able to keep his team alive. They pick up 4 kills. Nadosick is the only one alive. Mid inhibitor falls. They're automatically rotating off, trying to push down a second inhibitor because they know they have at least 19 seconds of a power play here. And Lucera, MVP of that particular engagement, keeping everybody alive and allowing that to happen. This is going to be another tier 2. Azzy Bear with the rewind, or Ghost with the rewind, ends up getting rewind back onto that. But the damage is there. Inhibitor is going to fall. Orb Prime is going to be up. Do they make a beeline for the Orb Prime and take this Orb Prime right now?
It's the correct inhibitor as well. Yeah, because that inhibitor forces Reborn to have some kind of presence on the opposite side of the map as the OP. We talked about this a lot yesterday, and as it spawns here, it's going to be pretty easy for Guile to take this and give themselves a pretty massive advantage. And we thought this series might have been done in 2 games, but Guile have come back in a big way, and it's almost looking like we're going to get to a game 3 now.
Guile, not only did they come back in a big way game number 2, they came back in a big way just this particular game. They were being dominated, not dominated, but they were being bullied the first half of this game. They were behind. They had a 15,000 gold deficit, and they've come back, able to pick up Fangtooths, able to just counter engage on this and adjust their gameplay and put Reborn on the back foot. A lot of people have been saying Grux is overpowered. That may be true in pub play. Rampage is a massive factor in these engagements, being able to land those boulders, being able to disrupt the backline, on top of Lucer's superb gameplay on phase, keeping his team alive and making sure they can push objectives. Right now, there's very little Reborn can do to keep this tier 2 tower alive, and if they get picked off, this will be the game for them.
They absolutely cannot allow themselves to fall. Guile are going to give them a little bit of breathing room. They're going to back it up, wait for the next minion wave to come through. Reborn going to get a little bit more time to think about it. Maybe Nadosic thinking about back it up, just going to make sure that they have vision here. Don't want to get surprised by anything. Guile Esports, man, they have pretty much been on point. Lucer coming into his own in a big way this game. And right now, Guile are just waiting for these lanes to push in because they do have the inhibitor advantage in both of the other ones that are pushing. So they just have to bide their time here. Wait for the minion waves to be in their favor and make sure that Reborn have to split their forces in order to fight. And that's just what they're waiting for right now.
And the minion wave is slowly pushing up.
Honestly, it's some really good patience from Guile. Like, they know that this is going to come. They finally go for a bit of an initiation here. Energy lands on the J. Leo. Regal comes in on the backside. Hasn't used the crowd just yet. Look how much Idic is tanking up. He's healing up so much of it as well. The inhibitor is going to fall. That's 3 down. Finally, that cryo comes through. Gonna force out the group stasis for Master Splinter, but again, it's just isolating most of the team. Reflect is gonna fall. Involve puts down that ultimate, but it's not gonna have too much of a difference at all. Nadosic stunned out. Nadosic blasted off by that shrapnel cannon of Ghost, and that's probably gonna do it. Guile Esports will come in and steal this game away from Reborn. They had a good handle on it, but it's not going to matter in the end. It will be a 1-1 tie going into game number 3 of this grand final of PCL 11. I wouldn't have it any other way.
What a good comeback by Guile Esports in game number 2. Their draft was I like the draft of Reborn. I thought Reborn won the draft at the beginning, for sure. Lucer was like, shut up, Notch, watch me play phase. Did so much work on phase. Plus, we had Rampage. Doc is just a master on Rampage. It's great to watch this play. Super impressed with Guile Esports game number 2, guys. We're going to be jumping into a game number 3. Guile Esports versus Reborn. 1-1 as of this moment in time. If you want to support these teams, ! Matcherino in chat. Head over to the Matcherino. Use the coupon code in the bottom to help support these teams. Everything we raise goes to first and second place back to these teams. Thank you guys for everybody watching. We're going to take a quick break and jump into game number 3 of the finals. Who will be PCL 11's champions? Find out next.